Hello everyone, it's February 17th, and that means it's the first official full week for position players reporting for spring training for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now right off the bat, I have to explain why this video footage displays 2012 in the background, and the answer for that is quite simple. Last year, I decided I would no longer purchase consoles for my gaming experience, due in large part to having such a powerful PC for work tasks. I just couldn't justify gaming on consoles anymore because my experience on the PC was just so much greater in regard to visual appeal and frame rates, etc., as well as a lack of console-exclusive titles, by and large. Now, having said that, I'll point out that the game I'm using to provide simulation is one of those exclusive titles. However, last year when I checked out the 2013 version, I decided it just wasn't enough of a difference from the previous year's version, so I didn't purchase that one. But now here we are with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One being released, and it's time to make that decision again. Frankly, I still don't think either console is going to perform as well as the PC system I'm running. But again, I find myself with the dilemma of whether or not to invest in one because of title exclusiveness. A decision made easier by the fact that the 2K series has been discontinued. There is another title coming from the makers of The Show, MLB The Show, but that's not scheduled for release until April 1st, and mental note, that's April Fool's Day, so that might not be an accurate report either. In any event, in order to prepare for this season, starting now as the players report, I decided to use the simulator I had on hand to present these video reports, and I'll cross the console decision bridge in April should I find it necessary. So now, without further ado, let's talk Arizona Diamondbacks baseball. Let me begin today by discussing Gerardo Parra. Parra was last year's right field National League representative to win the Gold Glove Award, and his hustle and tenacity proves that it was well won. Appearing in 156 games last year, Parra routinely chased down fly balls scattered across right field and effectively held runners at third base, giving them second thought to even chance a play at the plate, routinely throwing strikes at the knees from deep in right field. At the plate last year, Parra had a self-appointed goal of 400 at-bats, which he shattered, going for a record 601. This year he'll likely split time in right field with Cody Ross, as the addition of Mark Trumbo has created less space in the outfield, and Parra has struggled against the lefties. Of his 601 at-bats, 161 hits, 23 of which for doubles, and accounting for 48 total RBIs. Parra did strike out 100 times last year, with an average .268, and a slugging percentage of .403. Parra is speedy and quick, and has been known to go for second, taking half of his 20 attempts last year. I expect Coach Gibson to be a little more aggressive on the base paths this year, and therefore expect also that number to rise. Again, defensively and more specifically in right field, Parra can easily settle under a pop fly and prepare himself with a nice running start before even catching the ball to throw runners out at home plate should they decide to chance his arm. And it would be a significant risk. In one game last year, I saw him throw from right field to home, keeping Puig from advancing home, who would then chuckle about it, which was far better than what several others had done, as Parra racked up 15 assists from right field. I believe Parra committed less than 10 total errors all season long, with less than 5 from right field. With 365 total chances to play on the ball, 343 were for putouts. Parra's upbeat demeanor and attitude lead me to believe that he will not tolerate being a platoon player any longer. If he can get his batting up against left-handed pitchers, that should be the case, with a few days off here and there, with Ross or Pollock taking his place in the field. And when I say tolerate, it's not in the sense that he would be adverse to Coach Gibson's instructions, but rather his own personal goals for the season. Parra Goldschmidt appeared in 160 total games last year, en route to a career-best 602 at-bats and a solid .302 batting average. Driving in 125 RBIs, 36 of which to go ahead, with nearly 200 hits, 36 of which for doubles, and 36 more for home runs. And yes, that is a lot of 36s. Goldschmidt was easily voted into the Midsummer All-Star Game, and considered by many to be the heir apparent premier first baseman of the league for some time to come. Goldschmidt's growth to date over the last 2 seasons supports this expectation, with numbers putting him in line to become a perennial all-star over the next few seasons. And with the addition of Trumbo to the lineup, the Diamondbacks have taken steps to protect him from intentional walks as well. Though the Dodgers pulled out of reach late last season, Goldschmidt continued to show up at the plate, carrying the league's longest active hitting streak into the winter break at 19 games in a row. I look forward to seeing him begin where he left off as the Snakes play the season opener against the Dodgers in Sydney this March, and then again when they return to Chase Field for the Phoenix home opener against the Giants. Can Goldie increase his batting totals in 2014? With the return of Cody Ross and the addition of Mark Trumbo to the lineup, as well as the hopeful return of Montero to previous form, with honorable mentions to Hill, Prado, and Pollock, I expect the lineup around him to act as a promoter to greater offensive impact and potential league MVP, which some feel he was robbed of in 2013 by McCutcheon of the Pirates, who I saw at the Cubbies season closer down at Wrigley with my sister last year. You can actually watch that game from the MLB TV archives to see me decked out in the Diamondback red over by the home dugout anytime a righty comes to bat. Sure, I got some weird looks, but members of the staff in the area were friendly and understanding, especially since I was rooting for the Cubbies. I was just in town visiting family, and we decided to go scout the Pirates a bit to get a closer look. Have I mentioned that Goldschmidt was the National League Gold Glover for first base in 2013? Well, he was, and he patrols the right side along with Hill beside him and Parra behind him, leading me to believe that pitching may improve as well if they pitch it down and force the action that way. He'll miss some of 2013, and I'll talk about that later during his review, but when they were both on the field, they could turn a double without much effort. Goldie can range to his right and make a strong, accurate throw to the covering pitcher, or he could drift into foul territory without fear of obstructions to get the free out. He has some hops, he can jump a little, and he'll snag that flare that might look to eke over his head, or if it's a softer floater, he doesn't hesitate to turn around and run into the outfield. In the latter case, being mindful of the ever-present and fast Parra, who might be right on top of the play and call him off if the play calls for a quick throw in. Again, I really look forward to seeing these two guys return to form, if not better, as they begin the 2014 campaign, and I suggest you keep an eye on them too. Thanks again for watching, and stay tuned for more, coming real soon.